of capsule with very sensitive ingredients. If anyone want to join us, please don't move anywhere. And we also have the evaluation. If you done, please turn back to the register desk in the front of this room. And now our speaker in the next topic is already here with us. So may I invite Mr. Joshua Gaudry, Technical Sales Australia and New Zealand. So now please give a big round of applause to welcome him.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for making it here. It's an honor and a privilege to be here today to talk to you about something that I'm personally really passionate about, and that is soft gels. I'm hoping that some of you in this room share my obsession for soft gels and share my excitement for the future potential applications for enteric soft gels with very sensitive fills. So for the last 2 years, I've worked in technical sales in Australia and New Zealand, working with the pharmaceutical customers making soft gels. So in that time, it's safe to say I've become a little bit obsessed with soft gels. And I hope you'll come on this journey with me today. So just a brief overview of what we'll go over today. We'll go through an introduction into the enteric capsule world. We'll go over the traditional coating process for enteric capsules. We'll go over GELITA EC, which is our solution for enteric capsules. We'll talk about some of the potential applications for GELITA EC, especially with sensitive fills. And then we'll touch briefly on our controlled release portfolio. So for those of you who don't know, a brief background on GELITA. We've been around since 1875. Our headquarters is in Eberbach in Germany. We're a family-owned business still. We're non-listed. We're still owned by the founding families. We have more than 2,800 employees, and we're growing every day. And it's a focus of ours to reduce our carbon footprint. In 2021 alone, we reduced by around 3,000 tons of CO2. On the topic of sustainability, GELITA has a very lofty goal to be climate neutral by 2050. So this is going to require a large transformation of our business, and there'll be a few key things that we will have to focus on. One will be reducing our CO2 emissions drastically. Already, more and more frequently, our plants are equipped with solar power, and we'll continue to do this in the future. We'll need to reduce our water consumption by better water reuse systems. And in the future, we'll even start to generate our own energy from biomass. So overall, as we drive innovation forward for GELITA, we will keep sustainability in mind. Okay, so what even is an enteric capsule and why does it actually matter? So to put it simply, enteric capsule is a capsule that is a delayed release capsule that passes through the stomach, through the acidic environment of your stomach, and into the intestine without releasing the fill. So once it reaches the intestine, the shell dissolves quite rapidly and it allows the release of the active fill. So why would you want to do this? So it's important when you want to target your small intestine with the active fill. Also when the active fill can be compromised by the acidic environment in your stomach. It's also important when the fill can actually irritate your stomach, or when the fill can cause unpleasant side effects such as fishy burps or other adverse effects. So some of the use cases for enteric capsules are your probiotics, because you obviously want to get those live probiotics to the target area alive. You have your omega-3s and fish oils, which are prone to oxidation but can also cause fishy burps. You have your digestive enzymes, things like CoQ10, your sleep aids like 5-HTP and melatonin. Those proteins can be easily broken down by the acidic environment in the stomach. And then you have your essential oils and other extracts, which can cause unpleasant gastric effects. So let's dive into the traditional coating process. So how are enteric capsules normally made? So to put it simply, you make a regular soft gel, and then you would take it through a secondary coating step. So this coating step sometimes happens at a third party because the machinery can be quite expensive and requires a large investment. The machinery is also very complex to operate and requires, and you have to gain a lot of knowledge to operate these machines effectively. And even once you have gained the knowledge, you can still run into quite a few different challenges. So there are a few different coating systems, but essentially they coat the capsule in a liquid, it is dried, and then that causes it to be enteric. So some of the challenges when coating are sticking, twinning, so your capsules sticking together, defects on the surface of your capsules, so you have peeling or cracking, rough surfaces, so that frosting look on your capsule or the orange peel. So yeah, there are a few challenges with the traditional coating process. And not only that, it's not the most efficient process. So it uses a lot of energy consumption. So transportation, drying of the capsules. It requires additional machine equipment that can be expensive and difficult to operate. And it also requires additional materials because you need to purchase the liquid to coat the capsule. The other thing is these coating liquids are often petrochemical based, or they're very highly processed chemicals like HPMC. So with all these challenges in the traditional coating process, thankfully, GELITA thought there must be a better way. So GELITA has created a product called GELITA EC, which is a patented blend of gelatin and another biopolymer. It uses the best characteristics of two different polymers to combine them and create new, unique behaviors. So the advantages when you use GELITA EC is that you have less process steps. There is no need for the expensive coating step. You use less equipment because you don't have the expensive machinery that you have to invest in. You don't have to maintain it. You use less material because you don't have the liquid coating. There's less transportation. You don't have to ship off to a third party. You use less energy and water. And finally, it used less time. So in summary, when you produce enteric capsules with GELITA EC, there is only one production step. There's no need for the expensive coating step. So using GELITA EC in the future will be the more sustainable solution for producing enteric soft capsules for acid-sensitive fills. So on the topic of acid-sensitive fills, there are a few different fill systems that we'll look at. So we'll start with probiotics. Obviously, you want to get those probiotics to the intestine in as many number as possible. So you want to increase the viability and stability of those probiotics. You want to protect them from the acidic environment of the stomach. You have your omega-3 fish oils. So unsaturated fatty acids, EPA and DHA, are prone to oxidation in the acidic environment of your stomach. We'll primarily focus on probiotics and omega-3 today, but I think I should note also proteins are a good use case for enteric capsules. So your undernatured proteins that need to be preserved, such as undernatured collagen, your insulin. Also peptides, where hydrolyzation can actually harm the effectiveness of your product. So for example, your melatonin. So you see in the diagram on the right here, It's just a schematic of a peptide being hydrolyzed in the acidic environment of the stomach and a protein being denatured. There's also the field of biotherapeutics, which can be used, so serums, vaccines, penicillin, all those kinds of things. So in summary, to get targeted drug delivery to the intestine requires protection against the acidic stomach environment. So I might just touch on the microbiota gut-brain axis. So there's a large body of work recently into the interplay between how your thoughts can affect your gut, so how what's going on in your brain can affect what's going on in your gut, and what's going on in your gut can affect your mental state as well. So in a recent review by Liu in 2022, he found that administration of two beneficial strains of probiotics, such as bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, was shown to alleviate many of the neurological symptoms. And this was through the increase of GABA levels and the expression of other neurotrophic factors. So as you can see in the diagram just below here, they added the bifidobacterium and lactobacillus, and it showed an improvement in anxiety and depressive-like behaviors, episodes of seizures, spatial memory and learning deficits, and motor dysfunction and neurodegeneration. Another review in 2022 by Podell showed not only is there a relationship between your gut and your brain, but there is also a microbiome in your mouth. So this oral microbiome, he did a review of the current research, and it kind of showed that there is an interplay between what's going on in your mouth, has a role with what's going on in your gut, and has a role with what's going on in your brain. So he hypothesized there is not just a gut-brain axis, but an oral gut-brain axis. So more research needs to be done in this area to understand the complex interactions here, but it can be seen that getting these probiotics to your intestine intact can be very important for our overall health. So probiotics are inherently a sensitive ingredient. So they're not just sensitive to our gastric environment, but it's also a challenge to maintain their viability and stability during the processing and manufacturing of probiotic containing products. So there's a few ways that they do this. Firstly, we always have an initial selection of the best suited naturally occurring strains. So you try to choose strains that are already relatively stress resistant and give you the health benefit that you want. But then there are three main approaches to actually adapt these naturally occurring strains and make them more stress resistant. So you have your sublethal stress pretreatment. So this causes physiological changes in the probiotic. So they do this to make it more resistant to heat and pH. You have your mutagenesis. So this is done by UV light. It's randomly induced, and these cause genetic changes in the probiotic. You also have your selective pressure. So this is exposing the probiotic to stress factors such as heat and causing genetic changes. There is one other way to do this, and that's genetic modification of the strains, but as you probably know, it's not well accepted by the market. One thing to note when we do these, try to adapt these strains, is that we don't just want stability and viability of the probiotics in number, but we want stability in their conferred health benefit. So we want to make sure that this adaptation process isn't actually changing the way that they act in our gut. So other ways that we look to protect these probiotics is microencapsulation. So in a few different studies recently, they've showed that encapsulation with different substances only really has a minor effect. It is beneficial, but we still lose a lot of probiotic through processing and through our digestive system. So in a study in 2020 by Afzal, it showed that overall microencapsulated probiotic exhibited better survival compared to free cells. So this is the diagram on the right. The free cells were the green line. So you can see a marked reduction in the viable probiotics. You can see a significant difference in the microencapsulated probiotic. One thing to note though is there's still a significant reduction even in the microencapsulated probiotics. So you're still losing a fair bit of probiotic there. In another study done by Dudkovich in 2020, he used sodium alginate and chitosan stimulation in an in vitro model. And in all the tests that he did, neither examined methods could be recommended as a universal solution for the improvement of probiotic survival. So the stomach acid conditions were just too strong. So it's due to this fact, and there's no real perfect solution currently for microencapsulation of probiotics or for protecting probiotics, that it's pretty standard practice to significantly overdose all supplements with 30% of the probiotic. So shifting gears now to the omega-3 oil market and omega-3 in general. So the global market is projected for 2025 to be worth 8.5 billion USD, and with a volume of 66.3 kiloton. So interestingly, Asia Pacific has the highest predicted compound annual growth rate here at 15%. There's growing consumer awareness currently about healthy lifestyles. So the market for omega-3 fatty acids are primarily in dietary supplements and fortified foods, which can be seen on the bottom left there. So the major source of omega-3 fatty acids are still primarily from marine. So it's above 93% marine omega-3 and only a very small percentage of plant. So this marine omega-3 actually encompasses fish, krill, and your algae, which is the vegan option. So moving into fish oil oxidation now. So fish oil and omega-3 fatty acids are prone to oxidation. So they're prone to oxidation during the isolation and processing and storage of the fish oil, but they're also prone to oxidation during the digestion, especially from the acidic environment of your stomach. So in a study by Floros in 2022, he showed that this oxidation that happens during digestion significantly decreases the omega-3's bioaccessibility. In another study in 2019 by Tolberg, he found that during in vitro digestion of marine oils, there is a formation of lipid oxidation-derived aldehydes were detected. So what this actually means is that not only are we decreasing the bioaccessibility of our fish oil during digestion, but we're actually creating these oxidation-derived aldehydes which have been shown to be harmful. So protecting your omega-3s, I think, will become more and more important to ensure we're still getting the same health benefit. So moving into krill. So krill are tiny shrimp-like creatures. They're one of the most important species in the Antarctic food web. And in the same study by Tolberg in 2019, he found that krill oils actually remained less oxidized during simulated digestion conditions. And it's thought to be because of the phospholipid and antioxidant content that is naturally present in krill. So overall, in summary, protection of omega-3 fatty acids improves the bioaccessibility. So what this research on probiotics, on fish oil kind of point to is that if you can get more of the active fill to the place it needs to go in its active form, so let's say you can get 30% more probiotic to the intestines in alive, then theoretically you should be able to dose the capsule with 30% less probiotic. Same thing with fish oil. If you can get 30% more fish oil in the active bioaccessible form absorbed into the system, then you could theoretically use 30% less fish oil. So you can use a real gut targeting system for your soft capsules and reduce your capsule size and the amount of fill. So this improves the convenience for your dietary supplements. It's quite often requested from consumers to have one capsule a day. And with GELITA EC, less active ingredients in smaller capsules can be used. And smaller capsules are smaller and more convenient to swallow. So the take-home message of this whole presentation is that with GELITA EC, less really is more. With GELITA EC, you can produce sustainable enteric soft capsules. So you produce soft capsules with one production step, no need for an expensive second coating step. You avoid the additional transportation to third parties, which improves your lead times and improves your time to get your products to the market. And finally, you can reduce the carbon footprint of your products. So we do have a few challenges on the horizon and innovation that our global team are working on. So in Germany and the US, we're working on concepts for soft capsules with specific probiotic strains using GELITA EC. We're currently doing shelf life studies with these to evaluate the stability along storage time. And the team are doing further investigations into barrier systems of gelatin and gelatin-based hydrocolloid blends. So I just wanted to touch briefly on our other products that we do. We don't just make enteric gelatin. We also do our standard gelatin for making soft capsules. And we have GELITA RXL. So this product is for improved shelf life and stability and reduced cross-linking in your soft gels. So this is very useful for Asian regions where the ambient temperature is quite high, because the temperature and humidity is a large factor in cross-linking in soft gels. This is also really important in highly regulated fields like the pharmaceutical industry, where maintaining that stability and level of your API and reducing that interaction is very important. We also have GELITA RXL R², which is on the other spectrum of a delayed enteric release. This product is a fast release product. So it allows you to label your product as fast release in those products such as like sleep aids, pain relief, anything where you want to give the consumer a fast effect, you can use this product for. So before I go, I just wanted to say that when you purchase these products from GELITA, you're not just buying a product. You're investing in a solution with a partner that's dedicated to making your products work. So we will come on site and do trials. We have been on site and helped people with their trials. We'll help you with your product development. We'll provide technical support with any issues that you have. And overall, GELITA are here to help in any way that we can. So thank you.
Okay, so anyone has the question? Anyone here have the question? Okay, thank you so much. Please give a big round of applause again to Mr. Joshua Gaudry, Technical Sales Australia and New Zealand. And ladies and gentlemen, we also have the one topic in the